What might hospitality and accompaniment have to offer the conversation during this time of hostility, protest, and uncertainty? Dorothy Day of the Catholic Worker, Martin Luther King talked a lot about hospitality. Also, recently, there's been a larger conversation in the Jesuit world around solidarity and accompaniment. Much of this began during the El Salvadorian murders when they began to look at solidarity, accompaniment through the lens of liberation psychology. Good morning, my name is Father Frank Buckley, and I am the host of our morning practice three-part series of a little inspiration to get us started, 20-minute silent meditation, and then a little Ignatian Jesuit examen at the end. For inspiration this morning, I have chosen Dr. Mary Watkins from her book, Mutual Accompaniment, and I will read something that has helped me during these times of uncertainty. And again, we will continue to build on yesterday from the work of Dr. Martin Luther King. Dr. Watkins says this: "For even in a more just world, each of us would continue to be subject to life struggles where being accompanied is welcomed, where the deep hospitality of one to another can help lift the burdens that weigh down one's spirit. Sadly, all of this at times can feel a long way off. In the meantime, I propose accompaniment as a humble yet potential antidote to forms of psychological professionalism that misread symptoms of distress, that fail to see deeply enough, that insulate against the acute and chronic sufferings around us, and that unwittingly participate in sustaining the disastrous divide from which we suffer. The disastrous divide from which we suffer. Accompaniment may be able to grow up within more traditional roles for the psychologically minded until it overflows the container of the discipline itself. There are signs of this happening already. Due to its defection from hierarchical professionalism, accompaniment runs against the grain of human services regulated by a capitalist market. As those who accompany learn from others and share their own practice, they do indeed undermine bourgeois institutions and embody the kind of work Basaglia spoke of. Solidarity emerges from a felt sense that our fates are interdependent, that our own well-being cannot be separated from that of others. As Martin Luther King put it so beautifully, as long as there is poverty in the world, I can never be rich, even if I have $1 billion. As long as diseases are rampant and millions of people in this world cannot expect to live more than 28 or 30 years, I can never be totally healthy, even if I got a good checkup at the Mayo Clinic today. I can never be what I ought to be until you are what you ought to be. This is the way our world is made. No individual or nation can stand out boasting of being independent. We are interdependent. Thank you, Dr. King. Solidarity does not depend on homogeneity of identity or even shared origins. It depends on a shared purpose, desire, division, and action. It entails sharing equitably the work and risk of actions, often disproportionately borne by those with less privilege and power. We are interdependent. Thank you, Dr. Watkins and Martin Luther King, for the beautiful inspiration to begin our morning. These certainly are times of uncertainty, and I could not be more grateful to have a contemplative community to start our morning from a place of silence, of solidarity, and of peace. So let's begin. One of the ways we flourish is to unplug. So I invite you to find a quiet, comfortable place wherever you are, your home, on the streets, in a tent. Turn off, unplug all technology. I will set our timer, not for an hour and 20 minutes, 20 minutes. So I've got the timer set. You won't have to worry about that. The three things meditation should be: relaxing, calm, comfortable. Father Thomas Keating says the method is you simply sit down. So I invite you to sit down, close the eyes or 3/4 closed, something that feels comfortable to you. Take the attention to the breath. Engage your sacred word. Repeat it 4 or 5 times, and then drop down into deep rest. Let's begin. We only have about a minute left, so for this last minute, let's again engage the ancient 17th century Tibetan practice of just sprinkling a little peace over our own lives, over our communities, and over the world for this last minute. Please continue. Gently bring your attention back to the room. If your eyes were closed, go ahead and open them. You can circle the wrist a little if you want to bring a little energy back into the body, become a little more aware of the surroundings. Wonderful job, everyone. I love this idea of the miracle of meditation in our everyday, ordinary lives. We get a chance to experience a little miracle in a world that is really can at times feel turning upside down. So wonderful job. The last part of the morning practice is just a little Ignatian examine. Where did I find God or where did I miss God recently? Um, and as I was thinking about that, sadly to say, during my meditation, my mind did go to that a little bit. Uh, but that's fine. The monkey mind, it swings from branch to branch, then we just come back to our sacred word and drop down again to deep rest. That monkey mind is just part of being human. But where I've really encountered God in a beautiful way recently, just a shout out to Nathan Sheets. Yesterday, he literally moved hundreds of boxes with strawberries and fresh fruits and vegetables from Holy Family to his house and then distributed them all over Los Angeles. And I think you've heard some of my research recently from peer-reviewed articles about a correlation between fresh fruits and vegetables and our happiness. So it was not without its challenges, and we're still trying to get that food dispersed all over Los Angeles, but what a great problem to have. So that's one place I saw it, and when I walk into the center, the what was the art room is literally filled with water and food for people who are experiencing food scarcity right now. And then the other place was yesterday in front of Blessed Sacrament. There was they were giving away free phones to people living on the streets, and I'm hoping they're able to get internet with it as well. The other day, one of my happiest moments in a long time, I was waiting in line at Trader Joe's, and one of the young unhoused women sitting in front, waiting for people to give her food or money as they came out, said, "Oh, Father Frank, keep that meditation group going. It's really helping me." So we've got a unbelievably beautiful community here in Hollywood, Berkeley, Chicago, Scotland, literally across the world. And I believe with all my heart that we sit down, we make an intention for peace, and it has a rippling effect across our communities and our lives. So carry on the beautiful work, and when we step off our cushion, when we step into the world, we try to bring this peace with us. Uh, God bless you. Have a beautiful rest of the day, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.